There were quite a few PS2 games I missed out on growing up, like the Devil May Cry games, SMT games, and Persona games. But thankfully, with some remasters, I've been actually able to play some of these games on more consoles. Along with the games I mentioned, I've also managed to play a bit of Okami, as you can probably see from the title, and I'm actually really liking it. I've heard this game has been compared to other 3D Zelda games, and I kind of see that. I think from what I noticed, the exploration is very similar where you can use your different items that you get from different parts in the world, like like the dungeons. Well, kind of close to whatever you can call the places. Don't call it dungeons, but close enough. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's still pretty unique, and the puzzles in the game are still unique compared to Zelda. But let's get into the actual likes and dislikes of the video, so I can probably explain some of my points there. One of the biggest things I loved about this game has to be the drawing mechanic. It really brings some cool ways to solve puzzles, and once you get more later on, it can give you different ways to take out enemies. For example, you can actually use the bomb to actually do an AoE attack, and I find that kind of cool. And then of course there's stuff like the power slash, and then there's the sun one. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was rejuvenation or something. But you can have different options to take down wild encounters. And next, we move on to the visuals, and honestly, I think it's the best part of the game. I've been playing the PC port, and honestly, I think the high resolutions of it actually make it look really nice. And same thing with the character models. I think they did a good job uprising them, and even the characters, I feel, make the game more alive in the world. Next thing I really did like about Okami is, again, the characters, or at least some of the bigger ones. I find them to be really funny and just really likable. Like, for example, some of the ones I like is Hasanu, Waku, and Maratsu. Oh, some of the key standout ones for me. Next is the bosses, and honestly, I really do find them tense and well designed. This also kind of goes into the gameplay. To me, it's really addicting. You can get different weapons throughout the game, and some of them have to do the reflector and the bead. Now, of course, each of them play differently, and I find them really fun to play. Especially with the beads, just because the multi-hit, and I really enjoy using them. Then there's also different ways you can use the weapons. You can actually set one in the active slot and the other in the sub slot, and depending on what you put there, will change how it acts. Like, for example, you can put the reflector in there and it will act as the shield. Another big thing I just love about this game has to be the game world. The maps I've explored look really good, and I think there's a lot of small things, or small, really fun things to do in them. Also, the maps are kind of big the more you continue the game. Like, I'm about 10 hours in, and honestly, I really do like most of the maps I've explored. And there's actually this one moment in the game where I saw a broken bridge, but I couldn't get past it just because Amaratu couldn't swim all that far. So I just went into a little bit farther in the story, and then I could make lily pads. And then I guess I can kind of see why it's compared to Zelda a bit, just because the more you go into the story, the more weapons you get, and then you can use those weapons to explore different parts of the world. So I guess that's another key aspect of why it's compared. But I guess in this case, since you kind of need to get the lily pads to continue on the story. But again, I feel like some of the power ups are just really neat and just complement the world's exploration. And honestly, I'm still waiting to see what other drawings I can actually get. Now we move on to what I disliked, and I think the first thing I really disliked was the enemies are kind of easy. They don't really do all that much damage, as if when I was playing. Maybe it gets harder layer counters, I have no idea. Again, I'm still really early, so I don't know if it's just because the early enemies are easy or I'm just good at the game. The bosses, again, as I've said before, they're somewhat difficult, but the enemies show on right now. Another thing I really don't like is just drawing with the analog stick, and to me it's not the easiest thing to do. I know I've said I'm playing on the PC version, but for me, using a controller is the preferred way to play the game, or most games for me. I just think drawing with the analog stick is really slippery and not 100% accurate. It's still very playable, but I just think I have a hard time drawing. I know this was originally made for the PS2 and GameCube, but just for me, it's just not all that easy. I know probably using the mouse might be easier. I have no idea since I've barely used it, but for the controller, it's not all that good. The last thing I didn't really like as much has to be the story. It's not bad, it's just not really outstanding. I think for what I've seen, it's really simple, but that doesn't make it terrible. I just can't really connect it with it as much, and I know I'm still really early on it, but the overall story doesn't really grab me. The events with the characters I still love a lot, but just to me, that's what grabs me in the characters, not the story, but still, I think it's very passable. But honestly, other than those complaints, I still think the game's really fun to play. The last point I can kind of just gloss over just because I think the game doesn't need a great story to be good. But honestly, this game still does really manage to pull me in just because of how unique the gameplay is and how visually striking it is, even for an HD remaster. But of course, as always, before we finish the video, let's get into the likes and dislikes. Likes: good gameplay mechanics, good bosses, amazing visuals, good characters, good combat, and a good world to explore. Dislikes: kind of easy enemies, using drawings with the stick, and a simple story. Thanks you all for watching, and see you guys later.